Hello. Hello. How are you today? Today is a wonderful day. It's beautiful, it's sunshiny. I can't wait to get the day cracking. That's exactly what I'm on about today. Positive vibes, positive mood, smiley, happy people. I think that was an REM song, wasn't it? Smiley, happy people. Well, that's what I'm going to do today. Be smiley and happy. So thank you so much for joining me. If you could subscribe and like and hit the notification bell, I would be so very, very grateful. And if you're listening on any other platforms, if you could give us a rating, like if you're on Spotify, that would be great. 5 stars is obviously preferable, but give your honest opinion. And that's all I can ask for, really, because either way, 5 stars is nice. But if you give me positive, good criticisms of why you hated this thing, then I'll listen. That's all I can ask. So thanks very much. So I did my first shorts on YouTube yesterday, and I put my first TikToks up as well, and for some reason they went a bit crazy. A couple of thousand people tuning in to listen to that rubbish. So if that was one of you, then thanks so much, appreciate that. Crazy. So we're on our way to Chatham today. ETA around 15 minutes. I'm just going to go do a little bit of food shop, and then obviously we'll have a break halfway through, and then we'll come back and I'll see you on the way home as well. Because ultimately, you're not going to want 15 minutes of just screen time. You're going to want something that's a little bit better than that, aren't you, really? Which would be freaking awesome. But so Erling Haaland is now the all-time top scorer in a Premier League season with 50 goals. Crazy the fact that it is his first season as well. Absolutely monumental. I mean, in all honesty, maybe that gives something for Harry Kane to go after, because he's broke every other goal-scoring record out there apart from being the all-time Premier League scorer. Whether Erling Haaland will see that throughout his career and he will stick with Manchester City, who knows? I can see maybe Real Madrid coming in for Erling Haaland, and that possibly happening. But if Manchester City are winning European trophies, which possibly they could do this year, and I don't see why he would move unless he was offered more money and fancied a change. Who knows? But we'll see what happens with that. But I can't see him moving anywhere soon, because he's going to cost a hell of a lot of money to go ahead and purchase. I mean, when Neymar was 200 million, something like that. I mean, on today's standards, you could see Erling Haaland going for 250 easily. Especially if he does it in 2 or 3 seasons, getting better and better and stronger. I mean, if you take Messi and Ronaldo out of the equation as all-time greats, who would be your greats right now? Who would it be? Would it be Mbappe? Would it be Benzema? Would it be Haaland? Who would be your all-time great now in this era? Because obviously we're out of the era of Ronaldo and Messi. Obviously they're both on the decline. They're both in their twilight years. Obviously Messi is going to be leaving Paris Saint-Germain at the end of the season, probably going to America or something like that. I can't see him going back to Barcelona, but he'll definitely, I think he'll definitely be heading to America, something like that. And so who would be, if you took Messi and Ronaldo out of the equation, who would be your generational superstar? Who would it be? like right now, and maybe over the last 10 years. You know, Benzema has got to be up there, surely. Zidane, maybe. Is he the generation before, possibly? You know, you've got Iniesta. You've got Xabi. You know, you've got all sorts of players like that. Who would be your number one superstar pick without the question of Ronaldo or Messi? And who would be it now? Who would be the number one in the world? Would it be Benzema still? Would it be Mbappe? Would it be Giroud? You know, Giroud has a very good career right now. Scored lots of goals wherever he goes. I mean, we've not even mentioned Zlatan. He's in his twilight right now over in the States, but still killing it. You know, if Messi and Ronaldo hadn't been around, would Zlatan have been your number one pick? Then again, if you don't like football, you wouldn't pick anyone. So. Okay then, let's go for this. Who would be the number one sports superstar in any sport in the world? Who would be the top? It doesn't have to be just money. It could be for personality. It could be for what is achieved in the game that they play. Would you pick Federer? Would you pick, I don't know. Who could you pick? Tiger Woods? Who would be your number one pick? Top sportsman ever. Right, and it could be on anything. It has to be across the board on money earned, titles, world titles. It could be absolutely anything. And pick out of that the number one sports star in the world. Now, it's got to be a global sport, so not to discount anything, but you know, the NFL is only played in America. Even though they got something like the World Series, which isn't played anywhere else in the world, like in baseball and things like that. But, you know, you can't have those sports that aren't played globally, because you have to be a global superstar where you've taken it to many different countries, promoted the sport globally, whereas NFL, you know, you don't get any NFL stars coming over to, say, Germany to promote and grow the NFL in Germany, because it just wouldn't happen. Whereas you'll happily get a lot of stars playing tennis all over the world, from Australia to the States, Europe. You know, you get a lot of that. So it has to be a global star, has to be in global countries. So it could be snooker, where it is all over the world. It could be football, it could be rugby, it could be golf. Pick a sport, but it has to be all over the world, and has to be a number one star in that sport. So, like for me, if you were going to pick snooker, a number one star in that would be Ronnie O'Sullivan. Absolute legend, genius, crazy with just how good he is. Even after all these years, you know, he's still that good. So yeah, give me your answers. What would you say would be your number one global superstar? We should see what the answers say. I don't really have a number one global superstar, I don't think. I'd have to really think about it. Like someone who promotes the game, does a lot for charity, earns the most, has literally won everything. So even though someone like Gareth Bale was at the top of his game for football and won a hell of a lot, he didn't win any European trophies, he didn't win any World Cups, but he certainly didn't promote the game either. But I know he did a lot of charity work. So he wouldn't really be up there like that. Whereas obviously someone like Ronaldo, who has global dominance in his heyday, like unbelievably good at what he does a lot for charity. So maybe he would be the top in football, but would he be the top globally in any sport? If you were going to go by his Instagram followers, probably so. But if you were going to go with World Cups, probably not. I mean, he's won a European Championship with Portugal, but then Messi has won a cup, the alternative in South America, so with Argentina. So that's equal there. But now Messi has won a World Cup. It's kind of a bit obvious that Messi's just that tiny, ever so slightly bit better. So I don't know. You could have that debate for a long time. Long time. Yeah. We'll see how we go with that one. We'll see who comes up with some good ideas. But anyway, on to more pressing matters. Now, I have recently learnt that when I was cooking the other day in my air fryer, that you can actually cook pizza in air fryers. I didn't know this. Apparently, if you just put like a grease-proof paper down, you can make a pizza in an air fryer. Did not know this. I think I'm going to try it one day. I haven't tried it yet. But yeah, if you make up the dough to the size of your air fryer and put all your bits and pieces on there, yeah, apparently you can make a pizza. So, next question for you then. What weird recipes have you seen, found, or tried that you can put in an air fryer that you wouldn't expect to put in an air fryer? I mean, I doubt you could put a spaghetti bolognese into an air fryer. But if you've come up with come on, move your ass. That's it. Pay attention. Well done. Fucking hell. Keep off your phone, Dinlo. But yeah, if you've got a weird recipe or something like a dish that you wouldn't expect to go into an air fryer and you've done it and it's come out all right, then let me know. Also, I have a bread maker, and this bread maker is pretty decent. I've got to be honest with you. It does make good bread. However, I don't have any milk, right? I don't usually drink milk. And I was making bread with some seeds in and yeast and all that kind of thing and flour and blah, blah, blah. Done it all properly. But instead of like normal milk, I used soy milk. I thought, well, that's only going to be a little bit healthier, isn't it? You know, some unsweetened soy milk would be amazing. Well, the bread came out and it looked nice. It was a little bit dense, but I thought, well, maybe it just wasn't kneaded properly. I tasted it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Absolutely disgusting. Horrific. Horrible. Nasty. Grim. Do not put soy milk in your bread maker to make bread. Just don't. Absolutely treacherous thing to do. Really, really bad. Just don't ever do it. No. It was like it was like a bitter taste. Really, really horrible. And yeah, in all honesty, I ate 2 slices of it with some butter on it. And yeah, I just couldn't eat the rest. It was horrible. Really, really bad. So yeah, if you've got some healthier alternatives that do come out all right, please let me know. But yeah, do not put soy milk into a bread maker because it will taste disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I mean, there's all types of bread that you can make with this bread maker and things. I mean, can you make anything else other than bread in your bread maker? I don't know. I've never actually looked it up. Who knows? I'll have to maybe have a look at that one. But yeah, I've made bread a couple of times with soya milk in there now, and both times are just horrific. I just thought maybe it was because, I put some seeds in there and it was the seeds that had been cooked and horrible or whatever. But no, it was actually the soya milk. So don't ever do that. Tip number 1 for you if you've got a bread maker. But it seems like I don't actually do a lot of cooking the way I'm going on about it today. So, I don't make bread the traditional way, and I have an air fryer. So it's quite rare nowadays actually that the oven actually goes on. I usually cook everything in the air fryer. It seems to be a lot better that way as well. Like all the fat drips off to the bottom, so you're not getting all the jank out of it, and all the water comes out too. So I guess that's kind of healthy. But weigh-in is tonight at football, and in all honesty, I think I maybe put a little bit on because of my antics with Adam, eating a lot of really delicious but poor food. These speed bumps. Delicious but really poor food, bad decisions. So yeah, not great if I'm honest. But here I am at the shops. So what I'm going to do is I am going to park the motor vehicle, hopefully somewhere that I can actually find a space, and then I will see you on the flip side for the journey home. That is a space that will do just nicely actually. There we go, let's see if we can get in here one time. Boom. Lovely. Yes. Look at that, I am a good parker. Do you see what I did there? I'm a good parker, great parker. Bosh, lovely stuff. Right, I'll see you guys on the way home. Hey, we're back. Haha! And guess what? The sun has got his hat on. Hip, 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 hooray. That was a hell of a tune back in the day when you were in school, wasn't it? The sun has got his hat on. Hip, 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 hooray. Sun has got his hat on and he's coming out to play. For even good to have my my sunglasses on as well. How about that? Haha. So yeah, that was there was also some really cracking Jesus bangers when we was in school as well. What was it? I want to paint a perfect picture, a world for you and me. Yeah. Where am I coming out with these? Haha. That was a proper Jesus song. The one I hated the most, and I always remember it sitting on a cold floor. What was it? Oh, in a reception, or is it a reception or something like that? I can't remember what it was called. Oh, assembly. In an assembly. Let's assemble the children. In an assembly. They, what was it? Oh, yeah, sitting on a cold assembly floor. And only when you were the bigger kids did you get to sit on the benches. So you're sitting there on a floor that's filth. And you're getting bits on your hands and bits on your trousers and bits of food everywhere. And yeah, literally, you're singing all these Jesus ones. And I'll tell you what, the one that I hated the most that I was going to say was Kumbaya. Fucking hated that one. Didn't make no bloody sense. What the hell is a Kumbaya? What is it? Put my hat on, sunshine. What in the fucking world is a Kumbaya? Oh Lord, Kumbaya. No wonder he's punishing us, singing songs like that to him. Fucking kumbaya. What was the other ones that he used to sing as well? And the words used to be put on the overhead projector. So you get these flimsy bits of plastic that they're printed on, and you stick them on the overhead projector. They even used to shorten it down to be really cool to the OHP. Put it on the OHP. It's the overhead projector. It's basically a light with a magnifying glass that stuck it on a wall. That's basically what it is. Oh, I'll tell you what, there was this one teacher, who was a knobhead as well. And it was quite weird as it goes, because his name was Mr. Green. I think his name was Chris Green. And later on in life, I also met a ginger guy called Chris Green, and he was a knobhead and all. Consistently pissed and consistently angry. Although the teacher wasn't consistently pissed, but he was always angry. And I remember walking by him and like waving my Mars bar at him, going, "Ha, I got a Mars bar," and he grabbed my hand and ate half of it. I was pissed. Must have only been about 6 or 7 at the time, and he stole my Mars bar. So I was like, oh. And he literally, like, I'd eaten a little bit of it, and he literally chomped the whole thing right down to like the bit where I'd eaten. I'm like, well, I'm not fucking finishing that, because he's had his chops around it. Devastated with that. Fucking nicest Mars bar I'd ever fucking eaten as well. And he banged half of it back. Bastard. Fucking hated that man. He was a horrible teacher. There was a couple of good teachers that I had when I was in school though. And I'm not talking like senior school, I'm talking like primary school. Or infant school actually as well. So like infant school, there was Mrs. Jupp. I've actually still got her on my Facebook. So big up Mrs. Jupp. Down around, put your out on for a number 5. That's probably the only thing I remember from that class. I was 4 at the time. Down around, put your out on. I don't know what else he made me relate to, but yeah, down. So when you make a 5, it's down, round, put your out on. She come out with that one. Love that. Big up Mrs. Jupp, legend. And then there was the Argentinian teacher, Miss Wyman. She taught me 1 to 10 in Spanish, and then refused to give me her gerbils for summer holidays, and gave them to David Aris, and I was mortified and gutted. Crying all over the shop. And I think what happened there, right? I think what happened was, I think my mum and dad got involved with that one. I think they actually said, you know, no, just say, give him to David. Give him to David. Like we're not going to look after them. We're not going to do that. I think that was parents getting involved with that one, going, nah, we're not having them. Give them to Dave. I was mortified, gutted that I weren't having the gerbils. So yeah, she taught me 1 to 10 in Spanish. So I knew 1 to 10 in Spanish before I'd even moved to Spain, which was always a bonus. And what else? Who else was there? There was Mr. Glander. Oh, yeah. First year of secondary school. Well, not secondary school, primary school. And, yeah, he just had a shitload of hair. Like, hairy face, hairy head. Fucking long. And every time he was, like, angry at something, he used to shake his head, and, like, the hair would move, like, 2 seconds after his head did. And then it would carry on moving 2 seconds after his head stopped. It was like one of those kind of, I don't know, it just kept doing that round his head. And I actually looked him up on Facebook as well, so big up Mr. Glander for not accepting my friend request. But I think he built a couple of computer games as well. And we used to play them in school, I think. And he came in with his Rosie and Jim game, and that was decent. But that's the only thing I remember, that one. And what else? Who else was there? Mrs. Power. Right, Mrs. Power, right, she was the mum of one of my mates. And then I got taught by her husband in secondary school. So literally, like, I went through the whole family as mates and teachers. Crazy. But now, my mate is a teacher and all. It's like runs in the family. So they're all bleeding teachers. But yeah, he was. They were both Welsh. And he was a massive rugby fan. Always used to do the rugby PE. So there was that one. And she was a pretty good teacher. But I don't remember much about that class, if I'm honest, other than collecting rubbers. And I don't mean rubber johnnies. I don't mean rubber johnnies, you naughty lot. I mean rubbers is in like the pencil rubbers. There was like, I would just collect rubbers. And I had a massive collection of rubbers, like huge collection. And Adam Mayers went, yeah, I'll take them home. I'll look after them. It's fine. Never fucking saw him again, did I? He just nicked them. Dick. Yeah, he was a dick. So big up Adam Mayers for being a dick and stealing my rubbers. Well, it was mine and David's rubbers, actually. David being the guy who got the gerbils. So yeah, there was that teacher. And then, I don't know, secondary school, I didn't really have a teacher that affected me apart from Miss White, who had a really delicious ass. She had a really nice ass. She was a science teacher as well. It was like the schoolboy's equivalent of Rachel Riley. I'm sure at every school there's always one teacher that always has the eyes of the boy pupils. Always. There's always one teacher. And I think she was banging one of the CDT teachers. CDT, like design technology, so like woodwork and shit like that. I think she was banging one of them. I know she turned up in like a Porsche Spider thing one day, and I thought, well, yeah, that's it then, isn't it, really? She's definitely getting banged out by someone. God knows it wasn't me. I'd love to know what she looks like now, actually, because she's got to be, if she was in her 30s then, and it's been, how long has it been since I left school? Left school at 16, and now 38, 22 years. So she's got to be in her 50s. Shit, guy. I don't even know what her first name was. Can't even look her up on Face Waste. But I'd love to know what she looks like now, if she's still got a delicious ass at a 50-year-old. Mind you, she did have kind of chubby cheeks, so maybe she's had a couple of kids and she's stuck on some timber, so you wouldn't recognise her no more. But yeah, she used to wear these wonderful tight pants. Oh, amazing. So yeah, she was the only one who affected my penis in school. But in terms of like actual teaching ability, no, there was no one that affected me in school, which is kind of sad, because like with the amount of teachers that I had in school, like for each subject, not one of them got into the depths of what I needed or like influenced me to be better or wanted to learn a subject or nothing like that. They were just going through the emotions. Now, I don't know whether that equates to a shit teacher or just the fact that I had blended into the background and they just didn't notice me. I don't know. But surely the ones that blend into the background that don't get noticed, they're the ones that you should be affecting, right? So they don't blend into the background. I don't know. That would be my thing. I would be like, instead of the loud and leery ones, they're going to be all right. They got loads of confidence. Or maybe they haven't. That's why they're being loud and leery, because they've got no confidence. I mean, the smart, intelligent ones, yeah, okay, maybe leave them alone because they've got it. They understand it. They don't need much more. Tune in every now and again. But for the real, like, thick bastards, or the ones that really don't get it, surely they're the ones that you should be inspiring, right? Now, I'm not saying I was a thick one. Probably middle of the road, just slightly above middle of the road. But I did blend into the background. I was a nobody, really. I wasn't a loud and Larry. I wasn't a quiet one. I was just me. And that was it, you know? So nothing real crazy. But yeah, I don't think I had any teachers in secondary school to inspire me to go and learn and, you know, all that kind of thing. I really didn't. Because then when I left for college, I weren't really fussed about college neither, and there was definitely no one there that inspired me. Bloody weren't there long enough. Hated it. Because I couldn't do the subjects that I wanted to. You know, always wanted to do like acting and drama and all this kind of thing. I turned up there and they went, no, by the way, you can't do any of that, so you got to do like electronics and woodwork and all this kind of crap. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do any of that shit. It's rubbish. Like, why someone who's like looking at being on stage and drama and you know, being an actor and stuff like that, why on earth would I be sitting there going, right, I want to learn how to do an electronics board? Absolutely no clue why I'd want to do that at all. But ironically, they did say that I could take Spanish. So I thought, well, yeah, I'll go do Spanish, fine. Weirdly, 2 years later, I was living in Spain. So that kind of maybe would have helped. But, yeah, just an absolute waste of time going there. I mean, in all honesty, I sat most of my time on that bus going to college, then heading across the road to the college that isn't there anymore, and just playing pool for most of the day and then going home. I was like, and what? And what? And the only reason I got caught out doing that was the fact that the college rang up my mum and went, is he okay? You know, he keeps calling in sick. Is he all right? So I used to phone in sick, pretending to meet my dad and say like, oh, he ain't coming in today. And yeah, I just never used to turn up for lessons or nothing. So they rang up after about 3-4 months of doing that and went, is he actually going to come back? So my mum pulled me in and went, you know, how was college? I was like, yeah, fine. What did you do? Oh, I just had this lesson and that lesson and, you know, it's an early knockoff. So really? Well, I've just had a phone call from the college. I was like, oh, yeah, right. That's when I knew it was up. I was like, I'm done. Yeah, I've been pulled in. They said, you haven't been there for months. I was like, yeah, I don't like it. Shit. I'm not doing anything I like to do. She goes, well, where have you been going? Across the road to the other college. Well, do you want to go out to work? What do you want to do? And then, my dad being my dad, big up my dad for being a dick moment. Well, if you're going to go to work, you're going to have to pay us £50 a month. Like, because that's how much we're gonna lose from you coming out of learning, like coming out of studies. I was like, all right, fine. Like, all about the money, Dad. All about the money, ain't ya? Same as always. Anyway, that was a rather eventful 20 odd minutes that we've got together. We'll see us on the way home. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. Make sure you're tuning in again for the next one. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Hit me up on Patreon. We're on there now. It's just hit me for £3 a month. And you can have all the back catalogue of episodes absolutely free of charge. And, well, not free of charge because you're paying £3 a month for it. But hit the like and subscribe notification bell and give us a review. That'd be amazing. And I'll see you for the next one. Take care. God bless. Love you. Goodbye.